Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I'll be doing the winter book tag. So I chose to do the winter book tag because where I'm from, it is winter. So I thought it was the perfect time to do this tag. And right now we're at the middle of winter, so winter is wrapping up, but I still really want to do this tag. So that's what I'm going to do today. And without further ado, let's just get into the questions. The first one is Falling Snow. The colors of winter are muted. Choose a book that has whites, light blues, and grays on the cover. I chose a book that I haven't read yet, but I want to, and that is Speak by Lori Halse Anderson. I just found this anniversary edition of the cover, which looks more beautiful than the original cover for sure. I really like it, and it definitely has some whites in there. It looks like a very wintry-esque cover. Reminds me of winter with all of the white in it. So I've had this book on my TBR for ages. I actually own the book, the original copy of the book, so I need to get to it at some point. It's super short and therefore it should be super easy to fly through, and I've heard that it is very hard-hitting. So hopefully I'll like it when I do pick it up. And the next question is Crackling Fire. Colder weather makes for the perfect time to sit by a crackling fire in the fireplace. What book is the best to curl up next to a warm fire with? So I chose a fantasy book since fantasy is one of the main genres that I do like to read in winter, and I know that's the same for a lot of people. The mood that you get from reading a fantasy book just fits winter so well. So I chose a fantasy, and I chose one of my favorites, and that is The Savior's Champion by Jenna Moreci. This is a book that I recommended so much. It was my favorite book of 2018. I adore it, and I think it is the perfect book to read in the winter next to a fire if you have one. Question number 3 is Ice Storm. Winter storms can be brutal. What book do you love that takes the characters through a brutal season? I picked a book that I read so long ago, but it really stuck with me because I remember just loving this one, and that is Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. In this book, the moon gets knocked off its axis, and if you don't know, if the moon ever got knocked off its axis, that would pretty much change our world completely. It would be forever dark, the seasons would be not right, the seasons would be very cold. It would pretty much change our climate completely. And in this world, since the moon is knocked off its axis, so much so that the moon comes very, very close to the earth, it causes for the weather to be super, super cold. So in this book, the characters go through brutal seasons that are very chilly because of the fact that the moon is not in the right place. This is a very interesting book that I actually do want to reread sometime. Just the thought of the moon being out of place and how the moon not being in the right place affects the earth so tremendously that it could kill us is so fascinating and so scary to think about. And this world is definitely very scary because of what these characters have to go through. But it was highly entertaining, and I really want to read it again. I've forgotten a lot about it, but I just remember loving it so much. Question number 4 is Winter Wishes. Spending more time indoors allows more time to dream and wish. What character is living a life that you dream about? Now, this character is from a book that I actually didn't like, but she has a life that I really wish that I could have, and that is Kath from Fangirl. Kath is a writer, and writing is something that I want to be able to have as a career someday. And she doesn't have it as a career, but she's on the path of getting a writing career because she takes writing courses and she writes fan fiction that is super popular. So I really admire her skills as a writer, and that's like the dream life for me, is just to write for a living. So the fact that she is on the path to doing that is something that I admire. Even though I don't like her character and I don't like this book, I just could really relate to her passion for writing. Question number 5 is hot cocoa. There is nothing like a hot cup of cocoa during the winter. As adults, we often underestimate it. So true. What book do you think should be the next big thing? I went with a series that is popular, but still deserves more hype. And that is the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This series has been around since 2012, so it's been around for a while, and it gets a lot of recognition in the YA book community, but still not enough. Like, honestly, I don't hear about this series on BookTube anymore. Like, I have come across it in older videos from when the series was still brand new, but no one talks about it anymore. And I'm just like, but the series is so good that it deserves to be talked about more nowadays, and I just don't get why that's not the case. So I do wish these books were like more popular. They deserve a lot more recognition than they get. And I know this series, I don't think it's been optioned for movies, but it has been highly requested by Jennifer L. Armentrout fans. I have seen that, and I'm like, I totally agree. These books would make such great movies, or it would make a really good TV series. And I think if it ever did get like option for movie or TV show, it would get so much more hype, which I think it deserves. So yeah, these books deserve more recognition. Even though they're pretty popular books, but not popular enough. They deserve more. Question number 6 is lip balm and lotion. Soothing dry skin is a part of the winter for many, not for me because my skin hardly ever gets dry. So that's not an issue for me. What book is full of soothing and comforting words? So I'm going to go with The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout, the book that I basically include in every tag I do. And I picked this one for this question because this book has so many quotes in it that I just find so comforting, because I mentioned so many times how much I personally relate to the main character in this book because of her anxiety. Some things that other side characters say to her I find just so comforting and soothing that I think this book fits this question perfectly. There's so many great quotes in here that I really, really related to. And the last question is a fun one. It is peppermint mocha. What is your go-to winter food or drink for those reading marathons of winter? So my go-to is coffee. I mean, yeah, I'm that basic. I love drinking coffee when I read. When I write too, I always need to have coffee with me because it really puts me in the writing mood, but also when I read, I do like to drink coffee while reading. And for food, sweets is the main thing I like to munch on while I am reading, specifically cookies. I love eating cookies while I'm reading. However, I try to only eat when I am reading an ebook because I don't like the thought of getting crumbs or like food on my books. It just gives me goosebumps. I don't like it. So I only try to eat when I am reading an ebook since I can just easily wipe off my iPad. But not when I'm reading a physical book. But I will still drink coffee when I either reading an ebook or a physical book. That doesn't matter to me because I am very careful with coffee in regards to not spilling it. So those were all of the questions. This was a fun tag. It's one I haven't seen around, but it is a tag that was done by a blogger, and I will of course link the original creator of this tag down below. I'll link her blog, so if you want to do this tag before winter ends, you can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos. Also, if you want to get to know me, follow me outside of YouTube, be sure to follow my Twitter because I post a lot on there. I'll be back very soon with a new video. Bye!